Bonus '08, the $1.5 million warning, what the FTC's Publishing.com fine means for indie authors. Hey everyone, welcome back to KB's Self-Pub Empire. This is KB, and today we need to talk about something that every indie author and self-publishing educator should be paying attention to. On April 13th, 2026, the Federal Trade Commission announced that Publishing.com and its two co-founders, Christian and Rasmus Mikkelsen, agreed to pay $1.5 million to settle charges that they misled consumers about how much money they could earn using the company's self-publishing programs. And the details of this case read like a checklist of what not to do if you're building a business in this space. This isn't just a story about one company getting caught. This is a signal. The FTC is watching the self-publishing education industry, and the rules they're enforcing apply to anyone who sells courses, coaching, affiliate products, or content that makes promises about income. That includes indie authors who are building platforms and promoting tools. So let's break down what happened, why it matters, and how you can make sure you never end up on the wrong side of this. What Publishing.com was selling first, some background. Publishing.com, formerly known as PublishingLife.com, has been selling self-publishing programs and services since 2018. They primarily sold two products. The first was AI Publishing Academy, or AIA, which was their core self-publishing course priced at up to $1,995. The second was Publishing Accelerator, an add-on coaching program they started selling in 2022, priced at $9,800. The pitch was familiar if you've spent any time in the self-publishing space. Free online videos designed to funnel people into purchasing what the company described as a foolproof passive income system. The idea was that consumers could use the company's methods and AI software to write and publish ebooks and audiobooks on Amazon, earning substantial royalties with little or no startup cost. Now, here's where it gets important. Publishing.com reportedly made nearly $50 million in 2022 alone. So we're not talking about a small operation. This was a major player in the space, and the FTC took notice. The three things that crossed the line. The FTC's complaint lays out three distinct areas where Publishing.com allegedly violated Section 5 of the FTC Act. Let's go through each one because understanding exactly what crossed the line is how you avoid crossing it yourself. Number 1. False and unsubstantiated earnings claims. This is the big one. Publishing.com's marketing was built around income promises. In promotional emails, Christian Mikkelsen told consumers they could, quote, copy the exact system hundreds of my students use to make $1,000 to $3,000 a month in passive income. In promotional videos, he held up a bank balance receipt with the caption, I don't need the money, claiming incredible financial success from their publishing strategy. The problem? According to the FTC, most consumers who purchase Publishing.com's products and services never achieved the income the company promised. Many made no profit at all. And on top of that, consumers reported unexpected costs for producing and marketing their ebooks and audiobooks, costs the company never mentioned when it claimed there were little or no startup costs. The FTC's position is clear. If you tell consumers they can make a specific amount of money using your product or service, you need a reasonable basis for that claim, and it needs to reflect what a typical purchaser can actually expect. Highlighting the rare success story while burying or ignoring the typical results is exactly what draws FTC enforcement. Number 2, deceptive refund guarantees. Publishing.com advertised a no questions asked 12-month money-back guarantee. Sounds great, right? Except when consumers actually tried to get their money back, they allegedly discovered a completely different reality. The company imposed additional conditions that were buried in fine print or hidden deep within their lengthy terms of service. These conditions made it difficult, and in some cases impossible, for consumers to get refunds. The guarantee that drew people in was not the guarantee they actually received. The takeaway here is straightforward. If you offer a refund policy, what you advertise has to match what you deliver. You can't promise no questions asked and then add a list of hoops people have to jump through after they've already paid. The FTC will treat that as a deceptive practice. Number 3, fake and undisclosed testimonials. This one is especially relevant for anyone using social proof to market their work. Publishing.com featured positive consumer reviews and testimonials prominently in their marketing, but the FTC alleged 3 serious problems with those testimonials. First, some reviews were written by company employees or relatives of the Mikkelsens, and that connection was never disclosed. Second, some testimonials were incentivized. The company offered prizes, cash, and additional services in exchange for positive reviews, and those incentives were never disclosed. And third, the company allegedly conditioned refunds on consumers providing positive testimonials. Think about that. You want your money back? Leave us a 5-star review first. That's not just bad practice. That's the kind of thing that gets the FTC's attention. What the settlement requires. The consent order the FTC issued doesn't just involve the $1.5 million payment. It puts permanent restrictions on how Publishing.com and the Mickelsons can operate going forward. Here are the key provisions. First, they are permanently prohibited from making earnings claims unless those claims are non-misleading and they have a reasonable basis for them. And they must have written documentation proving the claims are typical for similarly situated consumers. They also have to make that documentation available to the FTC and to consumers upon request. Second, they cannot misrepresent or fail to disclose the material terms and conditions of any cancellation or refund policy. If you say money-back guarantee, it has to actually work that way. Third, they must disclose any material connections with endorsers or reviewers. If someone reviewing your product is an employee, a family member, or was paid or incentivized in any way, that has to be clearly stated. Fourth, they cannot condition refunds on positive testimonials. Period. Why this matters for every indie author. Now, you might be thinking, KB, I'm not running a $50 million course company. Why does this matter to me? Here's why. The FTC's rules don't just apply to big companies. They apply to anyone engaged in commerce. If you're selling books, promoting affiliate products, running a newsletter, hosting a podcast, or building any kind of platform where you're making claims about income or results, these rules apply to you. And the self-publishing space has a credibility problem. For years, there's been a wave of people selling the dream of passive income through publishing, and a lot of those promises have been wildly inflated. This FTC action is a sign that the regulatory environment is tightening. The updated FTC endorsement guides from 2023 and the Consumer Reviews and Testimonials rule that went into effect in October 2024 have given the FTC stronger tools to go after exactly this kind of marketing. Here's the thing. This is actually good news for legitimate indie authors and educators. When the hype merchants get caught, it clears the field for people who are doing things the right way, people who focus on real value, honest results, and transparent marketing. How to stay on the right side of the FTC. So let's talk about what you should actually do to make sure your marketing, your content, and your business practices are compliant. Here's a practical checklist. Rule 1, never make unsubstantiated income claims. If you're going to share income figures, results, or earnings in your marketing, you need a reasonable basis for those claims. That means data, not anecdotes. If you share a success story, make it clear that it's not typical unless you can prove it is. The FTC requires that any earnings claim reflect what a typical consumer can expect, not the outlier who struck gold. What does this look like in practice? Instead of my students make $3,000 a month, try something like, some students have generated additional income, but results vary and depend on factors like effort, niche selection, and market conditions. It's less exciting, but it's honest and it's legal. Rule 2, be transparent about affiliate relationships. If you earn a commission when someone buys through your link, say so. The FTC requires clear disclosure of material connections. This means if you recommend a tool, a service, or a product and you get paid for it, your audience needs to know. In podcast show notes, on your website, in your emails, wherever you make the recommendation, the disclosure needs to be clear and conspicuous, not buried at the bottom of a page, not hidden in small print, right where the recommendation is made. Rule 3, keep your testimonials honest. If you use customer reviews or testimonials in your marketing, make sure they represent genuine, unbiased experiences. If you incentivize reviews, disclose it. If a reviewer has a material connection to you, like being a friend, a family member, or someone you paid, disclose it. And never, ever condition a refund on leaving a positive review. Rule 4, honor your refund policies. If you offer a guarantee, make sure the terms are clear, prominent, and actually honored. Don't advertise a simple money-back guarantee and then bury conditions in your terms of service. Your refund policy as advertised should match your refund policy as practiced. Rule 5, document everything. Keep records of your claims and the evidence behind them. If you say this course helped 50 students increase their publishing income, you should be able to back that up with real data. The FTC can ask you to produce substantiation at any time. What Self-Pub Empire stands for, I want to be direct about this. Self-Pub Empire exists because I believe indie authors deserve better than hype. You won't hear me telling you that self-publishing is a foolproof passive income machine. It's not. It takes real work, real learning, and real time. What I do promise is honest, practical guidance based on real experience. No inflated income claims, no fake testimonials, no bait and switch refund policies, just clear information you can actually use. The FTC's action against publishing.com reinforces something I believed from the start. The best way to build a lasting business is to tell the truth, give people real value, set realistic expectations, and let the results speak for themselves. Your action steps. Here's what I'd encourage you to do this week. Step 1. Audit your own marketing. Look at your website, your social media, your book descriptions, your show notes. Are you making any claims about income or results that you can't back up with data? If so, revise them. Step 2, check your disclosures. If you have affiliate links anywhere, make sure they're clearly disclosed. If you've used testimonials, make sure they're genuine and that any material connections are stated. Step 3, review your refund policy. If you sell courses, subscriptions, or services, make sure what you advertise matches what you actually do. If there are conditions, state them up front. Step 4, read the FTC's endorsement guides. I'll link them in the show notes. They're not that long and they're written in plain English. Understanding the rules is the first step to following them. Step 5, spread the word. If you know other indie authors or self-publishing educators, share this episode. The more people who understand these rules, the healthier our entire industry becomes. The bottom line. The FTC's $1.5 million fine against publishing.com is a warning shot for the entire self-publishing education industry. The days of selling the passive income dream with inflated claims, fake testimonials, and hidden refund conditions are numbered. But for authors who are doing things the right way, this is a moment to lean in. The bar is being raised, and that's a good thing. It means the people who show up with real value, honest marketing, and genuine results are going to stand out more than ever. Build your empire on truth, not hype. That's what lasts. I hope this helps you go from posts to profits. See you in the next one.